Welcome to How to Text Map. Here is another example. Better training for new drivers.
Better Training for New Drivers by Jamie Lincoln Kittman. Bright and early on the day I turned 17, you would have found me at the front of the line at the local New Jersey DMV office, applying for a permit to drive. In due course, I got my full license, and it wasn't long before I got my first ticket for speeding. And soon after that, I got another for failing to observe a stop sign. After which failure, I turned without signaling and then traveled 40 miles per hour in a 25 mile per hour zone, a points cluster bomb that resulted in the suspension of my license until I enrolled in a driver training course, which, I might add, like the driving instruction I'd received in school, was virtually useless.
I just want to stop and point out that that entire first paragraph is all fluff.
Americans, with an assist from the automobile and oil industries, tend to treat driving like a right rather than the privilege it most assuredly is. And now that I'm grown, and I like to think a more responsible driver, two factors leave me convinced that the driving age shouldn't be lowered. Indeed, the right to drive should be doled out gradually to teens, as it has been in New York since 2010. The first problem is the utter inadequacy of our driver training. American states would do well to follow the example of European countries, where licensing procedures require considerably more training and proven skill before new drivers are let loose on public roads. The second decider for me is the discovery by scientists that poor decision-making, the hallmark of many teenagers' existence, has its roots in biology. So graduated licenses like we have in New York, where young drivers cannot drive past nightfall, or with more than one unrelated person under the age of 21 in their car, make good sense. Is it the case that many teenagers can and will drive responsibly, regardless the hour, number of young passengers, or brain chemistry? Yes. Is there any inconsistency in the fact that a teen may work but not drive at night? Sure. But, as every parent worth his or her salt has reminded their child at least 100 times, sometimes life isn't fair. Better training for...
Okay, so like I said with the introduction, this conclusion is all fluff. So let's go back to the beginning of the article. This is talking about the author's own personal experience with driving after getting their license. We can kind of ignore that and start with here. So this is going on where he states his premise that the driving age shouldn't be lowered. So in fact, that's his main idea. Oops. So the main idea of the whole, the topic is the driving age, and his point he's trying to make is should not be, sorry, gotta fix it, should not be lowered. Okay. So his first main idea is that the first problem is the inadequacy of our driver training. So the topic is the driving age. Still, and the point he's trying to make currently has inadequate, oops, can't spell, inadequate training. And inadequate means not enough. So his first main idea, American states would do well to follow the example of European countries. Licensing procedures require more training and proven skill before drivers are let loose on the road. So his first point is we should follow the example of European countries. example of European countries more training and proven skill. His other main idea in this paragraph is that the discovery by scientists that poor decision making, the hallmark of teenagers' existence, has its roots in biology. Poor decision making roots in biology. Gotta fix this. And if you wanted to, this would be a good place to pull in some of that fluffy detail he gave us in his introduction that were examples of his poor decisions. The second main idea is about graduated licenses like in New York. So, driving age should be graduated licenses. And I sure did spell that wrong. All the time. L-I-C. Oops. Sorry. Period. Quotation marks. And his first example is in can't drive after dark, which is what it means past nightfall. Can't have more than one unrelated person under 21. And I'm going to come back up here to my main idea and fix this. So driving age should be graduated license like in New York. That's a better main idea, because this whole short paragraph. Now, in the article, he has this one more paragraph here. This main idea number 3, which is actually, no, it's not a separate main idea. Oops. It's still part of this one, but it's a counter argument. In other words, this is where he's giving the opposing side, which is teenagers will drive responsibly. Teenagers? No. Teenagers will drive responsibly. But then he gives his counterclaim that yes, there's going to be inconsistencies in everything. So here's our two main ideas, for the two main ideas in the article, and that is the text map. And that took approximately 10 minutes to read the article and write out the text map. Now, let's move on to the last article.